But again, we're learning about this. So we're going through it at our devotion group Friday mornings at 6 o'clock. The table's getting empty because people are moving on. I just heard this week, and I haven't made a confirmation of the funeral times, but Mike Morton, we asked for prayers here for him. He had brain cancer. He was a teacher over at the technical school. He had passed Tuesday, I believe it was. So his service. Yes. Mm-hmm. On to glory. He was a big part of our devotion group, like before he got his spell. But he used to always come in and talk about his daughter and taking his daughter to college. And anytime you've seen him, that was his devotion, taking his daughter to college and how they accepted her with her handicap. So he was a special man. So, like I said, we're going to be in Samuel tonight. So if you will, you turn to 1 Samuel. I want to end up in chapter 7. So we've got a trail to hike here. We're going to run through the first chapters kind of quick, so we won't be here all night, and maybe we can still have practice. So let's go ahead and pray. Lord, help us to stay rooted in your truth. Let us pray that we stay alert and strong in your mighty power, and lead us and guide us through this time that we have together with you, Lord. And less of me and always more of you as we go through this lesson or this sermon today. Thank you for this time that you have set aside for each and every one of us. Amen. Okay, so I wanted to, my sermon is way back in Samuel, so I wanted to go jump leaps and bounds. And if I started Samuel, somebody said you ought to start Samuel 1:1 and then just go on from there. But I've already been through it, and it was like, well, if I go back, but if I preach on what I wanted to preach on, I felt like I was going to leave you all in a cloud of dust. So I am in a cloud of dust. Anyway, Samuel 1:1 starts with, I'm going to start with a miraculous birth of a child to a barren woman. Now, we've heard of them before in these stories, and this child happened to be Samuel. Hannah vowed to the Lord that if he would give her a man-child, that she would give him to the Lord all the days of his life. And she does that after his weaning at the end of chapter 1. Chapter 2 and verse 26. And the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with the Lord and also with men. So he's dedicated. He went to, she took him to Eli, and he has grown up with Eli, and Eli has taught him, and now he is going to become the next judge, for lack of my better terminology, of the next judge of Israel in the short run here. Chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. He learns, the child Samuel grew up and was favored by both the Lord and also by men. In chapter 3, Samuel is called by God and is told of Eli's demise and why. Why was in chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. For I have told him, I will judge his house forever for the iniquity that he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged with sacrifice nor offerings forever. And this was a judge. This was a high priest, Eli. And like some of us, didn't pull the stick out, didn't pull the belt off, and how did he say it? Restrain them, his sons, from doing the evil that they were doing. Vile, the women that were coming into the temple, they were having sex with them, in short layman's terms, and he didn't try to correct that. He just let it happen. Verse 3 says, Israel Let me make sure. All right, chapter 4, Israel goes to battle. All right, so now we're in chapter 4. Israel, the word of Samuel came unto all Israel, and Israel now went out against the Philistines to battle. And pitched besides Ebenezer, the Philistines pitched by Apec. The Philistines put themselves in array against Israel, and when they joined the battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines, and they slew the army in the field, about 4,000 men. So they go to battle, just like us running out the door. We got this. Give me the swords and whatever. We're going to go beat the Philistines. They didn't. They lost. And when the people came into camp, the elders of Israel said, "What therefore hath the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines? Why? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of Shiloh unto us, that when it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hand of our enemies." Didn't have anything to do with us, they're saying. We're God's people. And we're just going to go over there and we're going to snatch the ark and push that out in front of them. And anywhere we go, it's going to protect us from our enemies. They ended up losing the second time they went back out to battle. They ended up losing 30,000 men. Eli's two sons. Eli dies, and the ark of the covenant was taken by the Philistines. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Really, the ark was taken. It had nothing to do with how it was brought from Shiloh to be thrown out in front of the Israelites to protect them. It had nothing to do with that. They thought it was going to save them. It is their words right here. It may save us. Chapter 5, the Philistines take the ark and carry it into the house of their god, little g, Dagon, after their god is reduced to a stump. Verse 4 of chapter 5. Verse 4 says, only the stump of Dagon was left. They took the ark of the covenant of God and stuck it in there, in Dagon's, wherever they had Dagon, their god. First time, they came back the next day, and Dagon was face first in the dirt at the foot of the ark. The second time they came in, the head was chopped off, and the palms of the hands were gone, and he was left in a stump. Now, that's what the Israelites did to their enemies when they conquered their enemies. Head off, hands off. So that was their God, and it fell to pieces or whatever happened there for the power of the ark. The ark was God. So I wanted to get that in there, that the ark, and they carried it to Dagon, and after their God was reduced, in verse 4, they soon say, "Get this ark out of here." The ark was in towns that the Philistines captured, and they were in 5 of the towns, and every place they put this ark, there was trouble. And the trouble was death and destruction, mice. So they come about and saying, well, just get it out of here. We don't like it. We don't want it. It's not doing us any good. So if we stopped here, because there's a lot in these few chapters, the birth of a child to a barren woman, her child given to the Lord. Eli, knowing that he's not correcting the vileness of his sons, by the way, this vileness was in Shiloh where the ark was kept. Church. How many churches do we know that we run out of because of something that we know is happening in the church and we don't come back to because of what we've seen or what we've heard? Or how many times has somebody run out of this church because something they saw me do? And each one of us should have that weight on us as we go out in town and live our lives. Then the ark was lost. A son was born named Ichabod, which means the glory departed. His mother says in chapter 4, verse 22, the glory of the Lord is departed from Israel, for the ark of God was taken. Again, the Israelites don't say it had anything to do with them, anything to do with the way they were acting, carrying on, living their lives. They just pop up and say it's going to save our lives, but it doesn't. The Philistines say many times, the God of Israel shall not abide with us because his hands were sore upon our God, us and our God. Another little g. Everywhere they moved the ark, it suffered deadly destruction throughout their cities. Overran with mice. They were smitten with hemorrhoids. What? Hemorrhoids. What? Hemorrhoids. Some say it was the bubonic plague. Some say it was tumors. Some say it was hemorrhoids. And it says in that chapter and verse, it says, in their secret places. I tend to think it was hemorrhoids in their secret places. Now, why would it be secret? Let me just give you one word, why. Colonoscopy. Everybody cinched up then. To me, that's my secret place. We're not going there. 7 months the ark sat going back and forth in between the 5 towns in there. But they're going to send it back. They come down to the fact that, hey, this thing is not helping us. It is against us. God has had his hand on us, and it's sore upon us and our gods. So take this thing out of here. They decide, hey, we'll just build a new cart, get 2 milk cows, tie them to the cart, and in verse 8 of chapter, I lost myself here. 6, I believe it is. Yeah, 6. They load the ark on the cart. Somebody comes up with a brain idea. Hey, we need to do an offering. You know what we'll do? We'll get some gold, and we'll make some gold emeralds and 5 golden mice. And we'll put them in a box next to the ark that's going to be on this cart. Notice how they handled it. Notice how they didn't say, hey, we'll just open it up and shove these things in the ark and close it up and send it on its way. They put it on the copper alongside the ark. Number 9, verse 9 is an interesting read. Verse 9 says a lot about us also. They send it on its way, and they say, and see if it goeth up by the way of its own coast to Bath Shemesh. Then he hath done this great evil. But if not, then we should know that it is not his hand that smote us. It was a chance that this happened to us. So to me, what it says is if it goes this way, God did this. God gave us all these boils and these diseases and these mice encroaching in our towns and villages here. But if it goes the other way, well, God didn't have anything to do with it. He wasn't big enough to do that. It was just a happenstance. Just like me. You know, I had a car accident. Well, I really didn't have anything to do with it. God could have stopped it. Or was it just a happenstance? It was going to happen, and we just had an accident. We make this life that we're living in. We live in a fallen world, and things do just happen from a happenstance. But most of the stuff that we come across is caused by our own hands at most times. Chapter 6, verse 14, the ark comes to rest in the field of Joshua. Israel receives the ark, makes a burnt offering unto the Lord. And in verse 19 of chapter 6, this is where I really wanted to get to tonight. But we need to to get up to this point. Promise I'm not going to keep you much longer. Verse 19 of chapter 6. All right, so the ark comes back. They got all this gifts from the Philistines on it. The golden mice, according to the number of the cities that the Philistines belonged to the 5 lords, both the fenced cities and the country villages, even unto the great stone of Abel, wherein they set down the ark of the Lord, which the stone remaineth to this day in the field of Joshua, the Benjamite. And he smote the men, he being God. Israel has it, the ark now. He, God, smote the men of Bethshemesh, because they had looked into the ark of the Lord, and he smote of the people 50,070 men. And the people lamented because the Lord had smitten so many of the people with a great slaughter. Why? The Philistines had it for 7 months. They touched it, they moved it, they loaded it on carts. I didn't hear one thing that said they didn't lay their hands on it. I didn't see anything that said that as soon as they touched it, they fell over and died. There's one passage in the Bible, and I hadn't spent enough time to search it out. But they were told by the Levites as they were traveling a long road, the Levites told the rest of Israel, don't even look at it. Look at it far off. Don't stare at it because you'll die. And some stared at it and they died. Again, my fault for not studying that out to tell you where it is, but it is in the Bible. So why didn't the Palestinians die? Or the Philistines die, I'm sorry. For not touching it, for touching it, for being in its very presence, for moving it. They loaded it on a cart. They didn't say anything about poles, and they slid the poles in like the Levites were told to do, that they didn't touch it. So if we look at 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 7, we see that there is a law, or there is someone that touched the ark. And when it came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God and took a hold of it, where the oxen shook it, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark. So just a simple touch, even a good intention, stop it from falling off the cart. It wasn't supposed to be on the cart in the first place. But good intentions doesn't make good decisions when we have laws against it. We can go back to Exodus chapter 19 and verse 21. And the Lord said unto Moses, go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto the Lord and to gaze, and many of them perish. So there it is. Moses had gathered the people down to the bottom of Mount Sinai, and the Lord said, go, do something to keep the people from coming up here. Because if they gaze at me, they're going to be dead. And what did our Israel people do? In 19. And why did God kill so many of them there? 70,000 people. And he smote the men of Bethshemesh because they looked into the ark. Not just looked at it. They opened it. And they looked in it. And that cost 70,000 people's lives. So again, the Philistines died, and They did not die for touching the ark. And how about 2 Peter? I wanted to say this because the 2 Peter, it gives us a clue of why did they not die? And the Israelites did. Where did I go? 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 21. And this is what hit my mind when I was reading it. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they had known it to turn from the holy commandment that was delivered unto them. So we pointed out why the Philistines didn't die. I think it was because they didn't have the law. They didn't know the law. And some of the things that we go through, some of the people, before we got saved, before people started praying for us, before we got to go to a Sunday school class, the things that we didn't know saved us from the wrath of God. And I say that when we got saved, now we know. Now it's a bigger penalty. Now we know the difference between right and wrong. And the penalty is so much stiffer now that we know the law and grace, and we do differently. But why did God let the Philistines win the battle and let them take the ark in the first place? The answer is in chapter 7 of Samuel, 1 Samuel, chapter 7. In short, while Israel was worshiping other gods, verse 4 of chapter 7, if I had all my pages marked right off. Verse 4 in chapter 7, it says, then the children of Israel put away their Balaam and Asherah and served God only. So what was happening? Hey, wait a second, fellas. We lost that battle over there. Wait a second, I got a plan. Wait a second, Lonnie Christian, I got a plan. We'll get behind the cross. We'll get behind our title in the church. We'll get behind a preacher. And while we're walking with this cross pushed out in front of us, hey, check this out. Oh, wait, there's somebody's money over here. Let me take that. Put it in my pocket. I need that. Oh, the car. Yeah. I'll go to church. Oh, maybe I got a job. Look, I got my cross. And this is exactly what the Philistines did, or the Israelite people did at that battle. They took the ark and made the ark. As they said in here, they took the ark and they made the ark a lucky charm. We have people running around with a cross on their neck, and I'm not saying take your crosses off. I'm not saying speaking bad about the cross, and I'm definitely not speaking bad about the ark. I'm definitely not speaking bad about your position in church. But if we hide behind it, we're not supposed to hide behind the cross. We're supposed to pick up the cross and carry the cross and follow him who led us, Christ. We sort of do that. We sort of get behind the cross instead of putting the cross on us. So do we use the cross to protect us to live our lives the way we want to live our lives? They did in their story. They used the covenant of the ark, took it out of the church that it belonged into, brought it to a town that they were having a battle in, and pushed it out there and said, it is going to save us. They didn't pray. They didn't ask God for guidance. They just took this box of gold and pushed it out there, knowing what it was, thinking that the Holy of Holies Israel people was going to save them, and it didn't. And it was their own fault because they didn't realize what they were doing or not doing, and they weren't worshiping God. So, in chapter 7, verses 3, Samuel spoke unto all the house of Israel, saying, if you do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods from among you, and prepare your hearts unto the Lord, and serve him only. He will deliver you. It's not a thing. It's a heart thing. It's not an item that we can hold up in front of us or throw at somebody and think, hey, that's going to save me. It's he. So let us say that together tonight. Chapter 7, verses, I just read them now. Where'd that go? Keep jumping to 2 Samuel for some reason. All right, if you'll put up chapter 7, verses 3. 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 3. You did. It's right there in front of me. So, if we can shorten all of it out of there and just repeat, if you do return unto the Lord with all your heart, then put away all your strange gods from among you and prepare your what? Hearts. Unto the Lord and serve him only. He will deliver you. Amen. I'm hoping that I delivered the point that I was trying to make, that we need to get behind the Lord, not put the Lord ahead as an idol, as a lucky charm. He's not a lucky charm. He sent his son to die for each and every one of us. And that should be the relationship in our hearts to bring us to the Lord. So as we close tonight, I'd like